Do you ever feel that life is too overwhelming?
Does your full plate of daily tasks sometimes seem like an entire buffet?
Do you ever wonder how everyone else makes life look so easy?
If this sounds like you, then grab a seat, get a cup of joe or a glass of Merlot, and join the two broads from Boca as they discuss life and those taboo topics that you only talk about behind closed doors.
It's time to open those doors, embrace your family, and take your power back. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 to ask those unspoken questions.
Or share an idea that simply needs a friendly ear. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our inaugural show of Two Broads from Boca.
Welcome. I'm Dawn Graubert.
And I am Amy Schreibman.
And I have to tell you, it's really hot in here.
It's so hot in here, you have no idea.
Okay. But welcome to our show. We are so excited to be here. Our show is going to cover a lot of different topics. But we thought for our first show, we would introduce ourselves a little bit, share some of our background, how we came to be, and why we are the two broads from Boca.
Pretty much what our purpose is, why we're here, and how this all came about. So I think the first thing is, this is Dawn Graubert, and you tell them a little bit about you.
So I'm Dawn Graubert. I am a certified health coach. My background is in special ed, but if we go way back, my background is in communications. So I'm a little bit of a late bloomer being here, but I'm here. And I think everyone has a journey that takes them to where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be. So I have a master's in special education. I raised my children. I did PTA for many years. And my passion is truly child advocacy, working with families and women, and really empowering yourselves to do what's best for you and your family, whatever that happens to be. And as we take this journey, I did medical billing for 12 years. I ran my father's pediatric office. And when ICD-10 came out and he retired, it was a blessing for me. It was truly a labor of love to work with insurance companies and my father. But then I was able to do the second part of my life. And at 49, and Amy in her mid-50s, it's all about doing what works for you.
Not quite mid yet, but getting there.
Her early 50s. And we've both been very fortunate to have very supportive husbands and families that have enabled us to follow our dreams and live our passions. And they happen to be with us. So we have a very small studio audience over here. So welcome, boys. And we're going to talk to Amy, and then we'll tell you about how we met.
And what our purpose is.
We have not known each other for very long.
No.
So as we get to know each other on air, you'll get to know us on air.
Exactly.
And a lot of things will be new and exciting. And we'll get to learn a lot of things.
That's it. I'm Amy Schreibman. I am 53 years old, but I know I look beautiful.
You are fabulous.
I'm 53 years old. I am recently just received my doctorate degree. I'm a doctor in nursing practice. I've been a registered nurse and a nurse practitioner for 32 years. And I've practiced primarily in critical care. I was fortunate to meet my husband while he was in medical school in the Bronx, which is where I'm from, but I know I sound like I'm from England. We met in the Bronx. We got married. It's 19 years we're married, 22 years we're together. I was fortunate enough to have a husband that gave me the opportunity to stay home when I had my first child, and then accidentally got pregnant with my second child at 40, which was a big surprise and a blessing. And so we have two children, 15 and 13. I went back into the workforce at 48 years old, started in home care because it worked around my children, and currently I left home care, went into teaching, and currently I'm a professor of nursing. And Dawn and I met about, 3 weeks ago?
Maybe four.
Maybe 4. And I don't even think that long.
I don't even know.
We both had common interests. We both felt that women, particularly here in South Florida, have a harder time than most with labels and navigating certain situations.
So let's talk about how we met.
Okay.
So a mutual friend of ours, a business colleague, knowing my background in healthcare and knowing Amy's background in healthcare and how we're both reinventing ourselves, said, I think you two have a lot in common. I said, okay, so what do girls do? We don't do what men do. We don't go out for dinner and drinks because then we would have to eat in front of each other. So we go out for coffee.
Coffee.
We go for coffee. But then do you order the bagel or do you just get the coffee? So we got the coffee. We sat down and started talking. Our backgrounds are very different.
Very.
We grew up very differently,
Extremely differently.
but yet came together.
I said this to Dawn just the other day. I said, had I had seen her in a public place, I would have never thought that she and I would have ever been friends.
Okay, so why is that?
For many reasons. First, I'm like, okay, Boca, in my head.
Boca.
Second of all, I was like, okay, she's like in exercise gear and has makeup on, which is, I thought was funny. And I just didn't think that we would be on the same plane. I would have never guessed that she had anything to do with healthcare. I would have never thought that we had a minuscule.
So a lot of that goes to prejudgment.
Absolutely.
So what do we as women in Boca do?
We judge.
We look at people and we judge based on their outward appearance.
But I don't think it's just Boca. I think it's throughout. I think it's throughout any situation. We judge all the time. We're judged all the time. Not. I don't mean in this situation. I mean when you go on an interview, you're judged.
So people judge you by your first impression, by what you look like, which is so not fair in and of itself, but it is.
Right.
And then you start to have a conversation,
and you're like, wait a minute.
and everything that you thought and you look like somehow dissipates.
Exactly.
And then you're on equal fields.
It's
You're
true.
on an equal playing ground because you have a lot in common.
But I think that goes with anything. When you meet, for example, a very beautiful woman or a very handsome man, and the more they speak, the more unhandsome and unpretty they get. Or you meet somebody who you would not consider being so attractive, and the more they speak, you're like, oh my God, I have to be in this person's presence. This person is very attractive to me, attractive to me all of a sudden. And I think that happens a lot. I think for
or
us...
you go, listen, I really can't be because look at me. I don't know. They're so beautiful and look at their body. And I think I just want to crawl in a hole.
Right.
I've got a pimple. What am I going to do?
How many times have we gone out and when I'm ready to leave my house and I think I look like, the cat's meow or the snake's hips, and I go out and then I walk into
those snake's hips.
And I walk into a room and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? Run now, run while you can.
Oh, stop that.
No, but I'm saying women, I think in particular, are so hard. I mean, you know me this little bit of time. How hard am I on myself?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, Dr. Schreibman, if I could smack her half the time, I say, I'm going to smack you.
I'm confident in a lot of things, and I think women go through this all the time. You're confident in what you have grown all your life to be. Like, I know I'm smart, and I know I'm a really good nurse, and I know what I do, and I do it well.
What do they say? Jack of all trades, master of none, right? Do we feel like that as women all the time? Because,
all the time.
Like you say, I'm a good nurse, I'm a good mom, I'm a good wife, I'm good at grocery shopping.
Right.
I might be okay at making dinner or actually bringing it in. But what is that? Is that justified me as being good at something, or just here and there?
You hit the nail on the head.
What
I
is
think
that?
a lot of times women want to be, we yearn to be defined. And because if we're not defined, what are we? There was a great article today.
But what defines us?
Well, that's the whole thing. There was a great article today on Jennifer Aniston, whom I
Right?
happen to like. And this was a very, again, Jennifer Aniston, movie star, but it was poignant. And I'll tell you why. Because she said the things that all matter. Why are we defined by who we marry, how many children we have, how much money we have in the bank? Do we have children? Are we partnered? I don't think any of that should be
So it's women
how
can
we
be
define.
defined by who they are. Because I think maybe the generations before us were always defined by their husbands. Because back in the day, that's the way it was. The men went to work, we raised the children.
Well, I call it the American triple play. You went from high school to marriage to pregnant.
I did that.
Yeah. See, I didn't.
I went from high school to college to married. Right out of medical school. We both met our husbands in medical school.
Yeah, but
I was in
old.
college, so I was
old.
20.
Yeah, I was.
So we've been together 29 years.
I was
know,
32 when I
24
met
to
my
21-year-old.
So all of you girls who are out there saying, "Oh my God, it's never going to happen to me," it will happen to you. But in when it's supposed to happen. I was engaged before I met my husband, and had I had followed through with that situation, I can guarantee you I would not be doing this today. nor would I have furthered my education, nor would I have been
You
in
never would have
Florida.
met me.
And I would have never met Dawn. But I will tell you, I think what's important is to stop worrying about all this static around you.
You need
Start
to be present where you are.
You have to take care of yourself. And I will tell you this. I tell people this all the time. People used to say to me, oh, you're going to meet somebody when you least expect it. And as a nurse, I would say, you know what? When I least expect it, I'm going to be a pedestrian struck. That's what I used to say. I said, that's what happens when you least expect it. But it's true. If you learn to take care of you, the rest takes care of it. So.
Well, that's it. You have to get those voices out of your head. Or as our producer says, maybe I'm just a little crazy. Because I think the voices in my head has shifted.
Right.
And I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but growing up in a professional family, both my parents are professional. They both worked when I was growing up. Whose voice was in your head? I always had my dad's voice in my head of if I did something wrong, my dad's voice. Then I got married. And then when I would be doing our checking and paying the bills, and if I messed something up, whose voice was in my head? My husband's voice was in my head. And then I moved into business, and now my fabulous business coach's voice is in my head. But truly, whose voice should be in your head? It should be your voice saying, this is
right,
this is
and
for
this is
me,
not.
and everyone else is going to benefit while I'm doing what works for me. Because if you're good, then everyone around you is good.
Exactly.
You know, happy wife, happy life.
It's true. But I
Right,
also
true.
think, too, if you're not a wife, you can still have a happy life.
Right.
And I think it's important. Like Dawn had said, I had a very different background. I grew up in a home where I was a first-generation college. And no one else knew that. No one else knew about that. And then I went to college, and I went to my parents. I said, I am going to move out. And I was 24, almost 25. And they were like, what do you mean you're moving out? I'm like, it's time for me to move out, but you don't have a husband. But it's still time for me. Well, the rule in my house was you either left in a veil or a box.
Nice.
You know, so, and I just said, no, I'm not going in a veil, and I'm not going in a box. I'm just going. And my dad had the worst time with that. And the reason why it finally came to me, I had called him one night, and I said, listen, I said, I know you're not talking to me. And it was 3 months. I said, there's a water bug in the house. Can you please come up and kill it? And he did. And that's how he realized that just because I was away, that didn't mean I didn't need him.
Well, that's it. And we always need our family.
Absolutely. You know, you always need
You
that
always
person.
need help.
You know,
No one's an island. I know we talked about on our show this morning, if you had all the money, what would you do? And someone said, I'd buy an island. But you can't be an island. It's very lonely as an island.
It is.
You need support. And the great thing about women and friends and partners
Exactly.
is that we always support each other.
See, I think it's important. We get a bad rap as women all the time.
Yeah, what is that? Seriously.
We're that B word. I don't know. Are we allowed to say
We're
that
broads?
word? No, we're
The other B
one
word?
that rhymes with witch. I don't know if we can say that yet, so I will let you know. But we get that rap that we're witchy to each other, and I think that's, you know, to a certain extent, I don't really think that's true.
I have to tell you, I just got a text.
Tell me.
LOL. Okay, cut the gum thing, but you guys need a selfie stick. Yeah, I know. Our arms just
I
aren't
know,
long enough.
it's
And
true.
I think
We
you see
eventually-
our mics, the cameras
Yeah, our
over there.
cameras, you can see a hand and stuff
But you
like
can
that.
tune in on WWNN.com.
Yes.
You can do that.
And Twitter. And Amp2 TV. You can get it.
All right. And we are going to go to break. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation of women friendships.
There you go.
Hello, South Florida. Are you tired of listening to the same old songs on the radio? Are you looking to support a local singer with a fresh sound and complete artistic background? If so, I invite you to check out my music. My name is Kara, spelled Kahra, and I have produced over 7 albums that are available on iTunes and Amazon.com. I love writing songs and jingles to help your business or organization to become recognized in the business community. Reach me directly at 305-519-7917 or my email, karamusic@gmail.com. Be sure to check out my latest album titled Whistleblower on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Spotify. Call me at 305-519-7917 and see you on my social media page or my next gig.
August 30th, vote for Leah Krause to be your next Broward County Circuit Court judge. Leah Krause is the most qualified candidate with over 80 trials and over 1,000 hearings. Leah Krause has over 200 endorsements, including the PBA, the Firefighters Union, the Hispanic Vote, and the Victory Institute. Leah Krause is passionate about the law and serving the community. Visit KrauseForJudge.com to learn more. Political advertisement paid and approved by Leah P. Krause for Circuit Court Judge, 17th Circuit, Group 9.
Is your child's tablet time greater than engaged activity time? Are you seeking better wellness strategies for your family? Do you want to redefine what your family's quality time looks like? At New Dawn Health Solutions, we focus on the 4 pillars of health coaching: lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition to create a balanced approach to wellness. Together, we will open the conversation with you and your children on ways to empower healthy eating, increase physical activity, and set goals. Let's talk about the issues that are important to your family's health. Give New Dawn Health Solutions a call at 561-901-2854 or email us at dawn@newdawnhealthsolutions.com.
This portion of our show has been sponsored by Edelman, Barron, and Schreibman, MD-PA, board-certified physicians in pulmonary critical care and sleep medicine. Offices are conveniently located in Boca Raton and Delray Beach, Florida. 561-488-2988.
Hey, grab your glass of Merlot.
Or your cup of coffee. And if you want to join in on the fun, give us a call at 888-565-1470.
Let's rejoin the 2 broads from Boca.
Hey, we're back. And we're here, 2 broads from Boca, 1470 on your AM dial, WWNN.
We have our first call. It's Kathy on the phone.
Kathy?
Amy,
Yes.
it's Kathy. I lived right next door to you on Garfield Street.
Kathy on Garfield Street.
Where's
Oh
Garfield
my
Street?
God, how are you?
Okay, I saw that you tagged me in on Facebook, and I wanted to call and say hi to you and wish you good luck on your show.
Oh, thank you so much. How you doing?
you.
Good. It's amazing where you started from and where Amy is now.
There you go.
You see, everyone, as long as you fulfill your life's purpose and you love what you do,
Yes.
you're happy.
Yes.
Thanks so much
And
for calling.
I've been on hold, and I'm listening to the show. I'm calling from, I'm upstate New York.
Yes,
Oh,
you are.
wow.
An hour north of Syracuse. And I couldn't get it on Facebook. I couldn't get it on my anything. So I said, well, let me call the number.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much for calling. That was so sweet of you.
Thanks, Kathy.
Oh, yeah. And when you started your show, you were talking about the gum-smacking girl from the Bronx.
That's me.
And there she is.
And you haven't changed, Amy.
Not a bit. Well,
You
I think I've
haven't.
changed a little bit from Garfield Street. I got a little thinner, don't you think?
I mean, but when we lived next door to each other, when I had my children, they could see into your living room
Oh,
or my
my
bathroom.
God. That is
And I would be like, don't be looking in their living room. In fact, my son used to play with your niece. I don't know.
Yes, I remember. All right, Kathy, I'm sorry that we have to cut you up, but I think we
Yes.
might have another phone call.
Okay. I'll
Thanks,
call back.
Kathy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck,
All right.
ladies.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
So,
Barbara.
Barbara.
Barbara, are you on the air?
How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. You guys are fabulous.
Oh,
you.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're so excited to listen to both of you. It's so great. There's not a show like this out there for women talking about women issues and family, and you guys are great.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Barbara. I appreciate that. Is
That's
there
what we
anything that you wanna you would want to specifically hear?
Probably the one we're having in a few weeks.
Menopausal.
There you go.
Yeah, we're
That's
going to be
exactly
talking
it.
about that in a few weeks. That's going to be coming up.
All right. I'm looking forward to hearing more, and congratulations, both
Thanks,
of you.
Barbara.
Thanks, Barbara. Thank you so much.
I have to tell
you're
you
welcome.
that when we started promoting our show and I started talking to people about what our platform is and what's so awesome about having our own show, it's our own show. And they said, well, when you're discussing advertising and sponsorship, you'll connect us to your people. We go, we are our people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nice to be our people. It's nice to be able to work together. And when someone says, can we talk about menopause? Can we talk about...
And what's really cool is Dawn and I both are in the health field, but in very different ends of the aspect of the spectrum. So she concentrates more on family and children's issues, and I concentrate, sadly, on vaginal dryness and things like that.
But you know how many people come up to me at the gym and
know.
they whisper, "Can you talk about painful sex?"
Exactly, and we will. We really will. That's one of our topics.
You know, we've got so many topics that we're so excited to share on our platform, from child concussions and team sports, menopause, to healthy relationships, to redefining life after 40 in your 50s.
And things that you feel like you're going through alone, that nobody else could possibly be going through this.
But we are.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of this forum. That's the purpose. Don't feel alone. Have a forum to ask questions, or say to yourself, I bet they're going to talk about this. And if you need us to talk about something, let us know.
Yeah, give us a call right now, 1-888-565-1470. Let us know you're out there listening. I know my phone is blowing up right now in text.
Well, mine is doing our Facebook feed, so I can't.
And if I really had glasses on, maybe we could see. But
I
we'll
think we're going to
answer
have to
everyone
get
after
another
the show.
phone. That's me. But we will. We will post your questions, your comments. We will reply to them after the show. We just really, really think that this is going to be something different.
And it really takes a village. So we have to do a shout out to our village that puts us together and keeps us where we are. So when we talked in the beginning about judgment and what we look like, we may look one way, but it's really what comes from the inside.
Exactly.
But often the inside is different than the outside.
Absolutely.
And how do we bring that all together as a package?
Granted, it may not be the case with everyone, and that we all know that, but, you know, it really comes to pass that you can't judge a book by its cover.
So we had fabulous women that did our makeup today from Ivy Leaves.
Yes, I looked really, really poor before I we went to
We
Ivy
have
League.
amazing clothing stores, In Vogue and Cocoa Blue, that have contributed. TJ Maxx have contributed to our outfits. But really, all that did was put us here, but not what's inside.
Absolutely.
So what is judgment? I mean, if we talk about judgment, why do we do this as women? Because we should support each other. We should be there for each other as the village.
Exactly.
But instead,
and I think
we don't.
that's another take home. You know, we're not going to be singing Kumbaya after the show. I'm not saying that. But I think we have to take into account that it's okay to be supportive of other women. Don't always look at it that, oh, she's got to have an angle. Because I don't think that's always the case. I really don't. I really, really think that you would be surprised, as I was with Dawn. Who would ever have thought 3 weeks ago this would be happening?
Seriously.
I wouldn't know. If I saw her, when I saw her in the bagel store, I'm like, oh, probably never ate a carb in her life.
So that was my big thing. So I'm meeting you for breakfast that day, and I'm thinking, all right, so who gets there first? What do we do? So if she's there, if she's having breakfast, I'll be normal and I'll get a bagel and I'll figure it out, or a muffin. Or if she's just having coffee, I'll do that. But if I get there first, this is what we do to ourselves as women.
It's crazy.
We
It's
totally
insanity.
overthink this crazy. Did you care what I ordered?
No,
But I was
had
so
carb.
happy because I hadn't met you yet and you only had coffee.
Yeah. Well,
that we
because
were all
although
good.
I have never met a carb I didn't like, I can't eat them. So that's very, very true. I can't. It's just, we have to talk about nutrition, because I can't eat a slice of pizza. I'm Italian. I love pizza. I can't eat a slice of pizza 2 pounds in the
I'm
morning.
going to help you with that.
2 pounds in the morning. Who does that? 2 pounds in the morning after pizza.
But honestly, are you happy?
Well, not when there's 2 more pounds on the scale. But no, I have to be
Again,
honest
there we
with you.
go.
We judge ourselves. I judge myself. If you ever sat in a room and watched me, what I do in the morning, like I go to bed thinking about what the scale number is
I
going
don't know, I
to be
go to
in the
bed
morning.
looking like this.
But again,
Don't we wake up looking like
we
this?
have to. I do this all the time. I do it to my husband. The poor man, how he has lasted this long, I do not know. But I do it to him because we based our past experience on what's going on now.
Okay, so I have a question for you based on that. If you could tell your 12-year-old self something from where you are now, what would you tell
my
your 12-year-old
12-year-old self, I would just, no, my 12-year-old self was very cool. What I would tell my 20-year-old
Okay,
self,
your 20-year-old self.
stop. Just stop and enjoy it. You're so obsessed about what's going to happen next.
Right.
You're missing what's happening now.
So it's really the take-home is be in the present. So if we can forward that to where you are now,
Right.
let's be in the present.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's accept where we are and say we're here for a reason. We may be late bloomers, but we got here.
I will never have Playboy bunny thighs ever in my whole life unless I had a really cool plastic surgeon. And that's not going to happen. She has Playboy bunny thighs, okay? So does that mean I have to hate her? No. A
Okay,
little
so
bit,
wait. So here's
but
the text I just got. Media really does a number on our self-esteem as women.
Absolutely.
The images are unrealistic.
Well, I mean, I think you have to understand that. I love gossip magazines. I mean, I love them. That's my brain candy. But am I going to listen to everything that's in there? So do we have to listen what's put down our throat? If you notice, the trend is what they call, which irritates me to no end, the plus size model.
And
plus
why can't they
size
just
is
be
like
a
size
model?
8. Exactly. Why can't you be just a model?
Right.
If
You
you're
are a
size
model.
8, that's a plus size.
And
Well,
you're a mother.
there you go.
Embrace it.
That's it.
You're nursing your children. Embrace it.
I
because
agree.
this is what you've chosen to do. So embrace it, and you will move through to the next path.
I agree.
You will get wherever it is that you want to be next. But it's true. The media
Kills us.
It
But
really-
we let them. We let them. We let them. If we say enough, they're going to hear us. We're the consumer too. There's 51% of us out there, you know?
Yes.
So that's
So I saw
the
a
way it
photo
is.
today, and it was about one of the lingerie stores.
Yeah, okay, lingerie is not my friend.
And it was very interesting. So I won't name the name but it's a well-known lingerie store. It says it's a secret. Leaving a woman's self-esteem since 1977. Lowering
That's
a woman's
true.
self-esteem since
No,
1977.
not everyone is going to wear the secret bra. Let's be honest. I found a great bra on Amazon. It's for the people who have extra flesh on the side. I forget what it's called, but it's by Warner. Go look
It
it
helps
up.
with the back fat?
No, the side
The
fat. It's
side
the
fat.
flesh, you know? And it's called, I think it's called Keep It All In or something. It's awesome.
Here's
Love
another
it. Wearing
one.
it now.
Here's another one. It's for a cosmetic company. Maybe it's Photoshop. Maybe it's something else.
Maybe it's not. We're not photoshopped, and we look damn nice, don't we?
It took a village, though.
It took a lot of
But
village.
we love our village. So when we have our launch party and we invite you all through our media,
Exactly.
you'll see this beautiful place that we have found.
On that note, we have 1 minute left of airtime, which has gone completely fast.
And I want to let you all know about our show next week.
Yes.
We have a fabulous woman coming on her profession is reinventing yourself in your 40s and 50s. She's a well-known speaker. Her name is Tracy Kawa. She has developed an assessment tool. So when you have all of these passions, you say, want to do something else? What am I going to do? Her tool helps identify your strengths. So I'm very excited to have her on our show next week.
So tune in next week for your Two Broads from Boca.
Thank you for joining us.
Wednesday, 7 p.m.
You can find us on Facebook.
14
Email us at info@twobroadsfromboca.com.
And we're 1470 on your AM dial.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Have a great night.
You have been listening and watching the Two Broads from Boca.
If you have gained one pearl of wisdom or thought-provoking idea to create a better day, then we have made a difference.
Join us every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on WWNN to relax and feel inspired as we continue to open those closed doors and just have some fun.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and